This is Monty with Bill Brothers, starting my digital inspection for a realtor here in the Claremont area. For these visual inspections, we always like to start underneath the eaves just to get an idea of the general condition of the wood. We have the fascia board, the rafter tails, and then the starter boards. And it looks like a termite inspector pulled through right before here and was poking around. And we can see a little bit of termite damage along this fascia. We have a little bit here on the corner as well. And then looks like we have some on that rafter tail. Other than that, the wood condition appears to be fair. Looks like this was painted very recently. Now what we're looking at here is an architectural asphalt shingle roof. We do have drip edge, which is that metal flashing that goes along the perimeter and helps mitigate any water that comes down after a rain, so it doesn't soak into that wood. Another thing I notice is we have the ridge vents. So this essentially turns the entire ridge line into exhaust ventilation, so allows that hot air to escape. So gives the area a lot more better ventilation. And then we also have O'Hagan vents as well. Now checking the seam stagger appears to be good. We have at least 6 inches on most of these seams in between each single course, right? There were a couple areas where it was a little inconsistent, especially on this side. We got a couple stacked seams here. And then you see the seam stagger kind of gets a little bit closer together. But I did see a stacked seam right over here. It's not right on top of each other, but it's pretty close. Just something to note. All right, moving on. Another thing I noticed, some of these penetrations were added later and they don't have any flashing. So definitely want to have flashing added to those and make it look like this. And then the flashing, the ones that do have flashing, they don't appear to be sealed. And looks like we have another exhaust ventilation that could use a T-top. We have a heat vent. This one was sealed. Again, these aren't. And then we can show you the ones that were added. And this one actually busted through the O'Hagan vent. We don't see that too often, but it does happen. Another thing I noticed on the torch down section is looks like we have some cut marks. Not sure from what. We have 2. So those will definitely need to be patched. Another thing we like to note and look for is the bleed out. We like to see at least a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch of bleed out. We have some bleed out, but it's not that consistent. But there is bleed out. And another thing I notice is this corner. This corner is very loose. We want to make sure that this is properly adhered, because if we get a good gust of wind during a rainstorm, that water is going to go right up under there and go under to the wood. Another thing to note is this roof is very low sloped. So I would guess that this is about a 312 pitch. And for low slope roofs, we're gonna do one of 2 things. We're gonna use either, number one, we like the titanium peel and stick underlayment. It's a beefed up version of the regular underlayment, but it has it has tar base adherent on the bottom. So it actually sticks right onto the wood decking, and anytime a nail goes in, heats up underneath the sun and it seals itself. So this is absolutely essential for a low slope roof. Or number 2, we will use 2 layers of the synthetic underlayment, the titanium UDL 25, but in this case we only have 1. Just something to note. But overall, I think this roof is still in serviceable condition. We have brand new materials on here. Looks like it was installed not too long ago. So definitely want to inspect and correct all the flashings on this roof. Make sure that these are all sealed and in proper working condition. And then we also want to patch this back part and make sure that those holes are sealed up. And then we also want to add some mastic to the edge here, because I did notice these were lifted a little bit. So I will get this out. Thank you.